1, 2, 3, 4 years completed, but time just will not stop. In terms of quests released per year, this one sits at the top. 23 full years of questing, Caves of Bank must stay alive. RuneScape 3 Hardcore Ultimate Ironman, questing through 2005. Welcome back to December 5th, 2005. One last time here at the Wilderness Agility course. There is 77 agility. That is a quest requirement for Ritual of the Majrat and the Hefin Agility course requiring Plague's End. New agility course unlocked. We have all the intentions of training agility there once it exists. Technically, there is still some benefits we could get from training agility. A few shortcuts and such, but overall, not really worth worrying about right now. Other things we could focus on, like continuing on in time here. On December 12th, 2005, there is quite a few things to go look at. First up, over in the Champions Guild, we got a whole new thing going on. A trapdoor to head underground and access the Champions Challenge Arena. Talk to Larxus here. Welcome to the Champions Arena. If you ever find a Champions scroll during your adventures, here's where the duel will take place. Want to experience what it's like to fight a champion? There's a Leprechaun champion added later, which doesn't exist yet. Can't do that. Also the rules are no items allowed for the Leprechaun champion that doesn't exist, so no, we will not do that. I will pass. Is there something else I can help you with? What is this place? This is the Champions Arena. The champions of various races use it to duel those they deem worthy of the honor. Anything else? Nope. Because I was not given a challenge yet. I mean, I think technically I have been, but not yet. Not before it existed. Champions Challenge. You need to get a Champions Scroll in order to accept the challenge. A 1 in 5,000 drop from various monsters. Specifically, imps, goblins, skeletons, zombies, giants, hobgoblins, ghouls, earth warriors, jogers, and lesser demons. You get the scroll, then you head down and fight their champion, which is, as you might expect, a bit stronger than the average for their species. And there's also various rules that you must follow. From something as simple as just use melee attacks to you can't have anything equipped, or you can't have anything in your inventory. Things that would definitely be more problematic for us than average. If the fight was short enough, we could possibly get away with dropping a bunch of stuff and doing the fight. But honestly, probably not going to worry about it. Especially because the rewards are really, really bad. Your reward for getting a 1 in 5,000 drop is a couple hundred XP in hit points and Slayer. So, really, really not worth it. But then if you defeat all 10 of the base champions, you then get to fight the Undercooler here, the human champion. Later on, there's also more champions, and even champions added later when new things are added. Overall, not very useful. There is even a second batch of champions later, but we're not going to worry about that. And the XP was buffed in 2015. And then you can re-challenge the champions as a weekly for the XP again. Still not very good, but better than the few hundred it originally was here. Definitely something. I guess if we find a champion scroll somehow, and it's ones we can do, and it's not a huge problem, perhaps. But I'm not going to be going for champion scrolls right now. Or possibly ever. Probably not. Already did that. Anyways. Slightly connected to the Champions Guild. Over in Edgeville, it's now easier to get to Ozach's house. Originally, the wall of the ruins continued up past the general store to Ozach's house, and then walls around that way, so you had to go out and back in. But now, we can just walk over to Ozach's house. Still need to go around and down to the wilderness a little bit to get over to the monastery. But there's still one more massive wall between these two. There's one more wall out of the way. Technically, this might have been in a nearby update. Wasn't mentioned anywhere in the map collections for back now, are not entirely accurate. But sometime around here. Managed to narrow it down to a specific time frame. And this is about as close as we're going to get. At least makes some sense. And a somewhat related update. Nothing else really connects too well. Not that Dragon Slayer and the Champions Challenge are really the same update or anything. Also just looking into other Champions Guild activities and to make things more streamlined or something. But anyways, not important. Dragon Slayer, though, is slightly related in a way that probably got a lot of people killed when they tried to go fight skeletal wyverns. Wyvern's kind of like a dragon, so you would think anti-dragon shield, good choice. Wrong. To fight these level 72 Slayer creatures, you want to bring an elemental shield to deal with their icy breath. Drops-wise, they have granite legs and wyvern bones. Not too many super impressive things on here. These were actually updated with their drop tables later in old school RuneScape. So technically better stuff there than here, realistically. The bones give less experience than dragons, even though they're realistically much more dangerous because of the icy breath and all that. Probably not going to worry about it. Probably not ever going to really fight any wyverns. Between needing to go and make an elemental shield, having to use one-handed weapons, and just the terrible drops, really, really not worth it. Much better creatures coming later. And also, some other creatures get various drop table buffs, so lots of things to consider for the future. Things to fight, XP to get. Not here. Moving on December 15th, 2005, two new wallpapers, one being a festive RuneScape logo, and the other being a goblin, and a new ringtone, which was the Trollweiss sledding track, were added to the shop. All that for phones. So, two little phone wallpapers and a ringtone. But what's also been added to the shop is a new physical poster. You can get an actual poster from the shop. Very fun. Still only UK. Still working on getting that to other places. But expanding things at least. That's interesting. On December 19th, 2005, post bag from the hedge 2. Send in your questions to various NPCs and get amusing answers. This time, featuring the likes of Wizard Treyborn, Hans, and the Evil Chicken. Very fun. Also, as you might expect, getting further here into December, we've got the Christmas event. Taking place in Draenor Village here. You would go down this trapdoor to access, well, this trapdoor, but goes to a different place now. A trapdoor in Draenor, at least. To access a workshop under Draenor Village. Down there, you would do various activities. Very festive stuff indeed. Assemble marionettes. Grab 2 each of red, blue, and green, all assembled from all the various pieces. Heads, arms, torsos, legs. Put them in boxes. Once you have 8 boxes of those, bring them over to the Taverley Gate to get a variety of hats. Very festive. And then, also down there, you could paint some baubles. Get 5 colors of baubles, any shape you'd like. Put those in a box. Once you have 8 boxes of baubles, turn them in to the manager there for a variety of matching scarves to go with your hats. You can do this in either order, and depending on the number of boxes you bring, like every 2 boxes, you would get a new hat and a new scarf for 4 different sets. Very festive. Continue painting more baubles. Bring 5 boxes over to the big tree in the center of Varrock to get a marionette that you can play with. It jumps around, and do a little bow, and a little dance. 3 different colors. And then later, when various options exist, you can change the color. But overall, just some fun little Christmas stuff to do. Also, all around Draenor, you can find some festive imps, like they mentioned in the behind the scenes. And you can just steal baubles from them if you don't want to paint your own. Although it's very easy. Overall, very nice. And once you're done having a nice, easy time at the Christmas event, you can go do the next quest. We've got Devious Mines. Starts outside the temple at Paradomus. But before you head over there, you've got some requirements to get. Recruitment drive, which before the 2024 requirements change was originally wanted, so a little bit of a larger requirement. What's Mine is Yours, which is Doric's quest. Once again, another situation where we needed to complete the replacement of the quest because it's required before the replacement exists. That's alright. Ability to enter Mauritania, which means Priest in Peril. And also, enter the Abyss. Not even mini quest, just little thing you can do. That's been removed from the requirements because it is bypassable with other methods. But yes, we were going to be dealing with the Abyss here. And that's not even the biggest problems. The requirements for this quest 50 fletching, 50 rune crafting, 65 smithing. Compared to the requirements for quests at this stage, these are wild. 65 smithing is pretty impressive. 50 rune crafting is ridiculous. Even today, this is like the third highest rune crafting requirement in the entire game, which is also hilarious, because at this point 50 rune crafting is not too bad. But in 2005, 50 rune crafting is significant. The requirements for this are so high that certain stages, especially in old school RuneScape, this was the least completed quest because of the requirements being ridiculous and the rewards not exactly living up to it. But it's here for us now, and we are ready for it. Fully prepared for the 50 rune crafting. As much work as that was. But we got it, and now we're here. Rune crafting is going to continue to be a problem in the future, but we will deal with that later. For right now, we've got everything we need. Except all the things that we need. Required items. Mithril two-handed sword. We can buy that from a shop. A bowstring. That is, pick a flax and string it at the spinning wheel. Just spin it into a bowstring. And a fully repaired large pouch. That's the rune crafting pouch. To get that, we have to head to the abyss before we even get started here. And unfortunately, in the abyss, there are enemies. We have no armor. And we have a dragon mace. So we will see how this goes. We need to get the large pouch, which means we first need to get the small and medium pouch. So we're going to be dealing with some drop rates here. Hopefully, it goes okay. So we're probably going to do that before we get all the other things. Especially if we end up needing to teleport out and back in many times, getting more food. Which is very, very possible here. To the abyss. 3 inventories of getting absolutely destroyed later. There is the large pouch. Technically don't need the small and medium pouch anymore. So that's okay. Let's get out of here. Managed to get into position where not too many things could attack at the same time. Some of them are now ranged attack guys and magic attack, so it was a bit of a problem. Bowstring, trivial here. Pick a flax. Still not supposed to give farming XP, but at least farming exists now. So that's better. And very, very easily spin it at the spinning wheel. And then all we need is a mithril two-handed sword, which we can go get from a shop. Guys is absolutely ripping us off here. 10,000 gold for a mithril two-handed sword. Technically, we could just make this ourselves. That's also entirely possible. But that's okay. 65 smithing was the requirement to make a mithril two-handed sword. But we can skip that part at least here. Well, let's go start the quest. Not that monk over there. That's later. But this monk, right here next to the temple. Good day to you, adventurer. Could you spare the time to help me? That depends. What's in it for me? Ah, well, our Lord is always gracious to those who would help him. I'm sure you'd be fittingly rewarded. Except devious minds. Our warriors are facing a new and dangerous threats. We need a specially designed weapon to be victorious. If you could help by building one of these weapons, You will help to ensure victory is ours. Ooh, a new weapon. Yes, yes, now pay attention. I need you to take a two-handed sword, Mithril should do, to Doric's place and grind it down to a slender blade. Once it's flexible enough, you should be able to string it with a normal bowstring. Bring it back here when you're done. Simple enough. Everything that we need right there. Mithril two-handed sword, Doric's, grind it down, bowstring, and there you go. Simple as that. Head over to Doric's. Ah, Doric's quest. How simple. And still existing. Anyways. With here, we got Doric's whetstone for sharpening blades. Use that on that. Grind the blade until it's slender and flexible. Look how slender it is. String it with a bowstring. And now we have a bow sword. It's a bow and a sword. You can't figure out how to wield it. Bow swords. Sharp sword that can also fire arrows. Swords are not generally how you would do that. That's okay. The concept of a weapon that can do multiple combat styles. Intriguing. Not a thing, unfortunately. Eventually, you can do something like that. Only useful in very, very specific circumstances, though. For the most part, you want to be using one style. Not that we have many choices in that matter just yet. Later on, maybe. For the things that's actually useful for, we probably won't be doing too much at all, so, yeah. Either way, we've accomplished what we needed to do here. We have made a bow sword. That's great. I had to use the fletching and smithing requirements for the quest. I think you could say this would probably be a pretty difficult thing to make, comparatively. Very novel. Have you brought the weapon for me? Can you teach me how to use it? It's a foreign design. Maybe later one of our warriors will show you how it's used. Speaking of which, may I have it, please? Yep, got it right here for you. Ah, excellent. This won't be forgotten. You've been a great help. Though I wonder if you could do me one final favor. Wait, this sounds familiar. What are you talking about? I just need you to make a delivery to Entrana for me. There's a special ceremony, which unfortunately I cannot attend, and I wanted to give them a gift to mark the occasion. Okay, let me do this then. Pass me the present. Not so fast. It's supposed to be a surprise, so we need to sneak it onto the island. Here there's some kind of other realm or some such, which you have got access to. In the abyss? Yes, that's the one. Now take this orb and put it in one of the large pouches from there. Don't want it getting damaged. Alright. Orb in pouch. You hide the orb in the pouch. It's currently glowing. Let me just take this to Entrana. You need to hurry or you'll miss the ceremony. Very good. One slight issue with heading straight to the ceremony right now. It's on Entrana. And we need to get to Entrana through the abyss. As much as you would think you could get to Entrana through the abyss, going through the law altar, and still have things and bring it on since you're skipping the monks. Not how it works. If we want to go to Entrana, we need to not have anything that they don't want us to have. We only have one thing that's a problem here. The dragon mace. And so, we need to get rid of the dragon mace. Which is easy enough. Get some runes. Other runes. Nature rune. Already have all the fire runes we could dream of. Here's just one. Nice and quick. high-level alchemy. 30,000 coins back. Spent 50,000 on it, so realistically only losing 20,000 on the mace here. So that's okay. And we can get that out of the money pouch whenever we want. It's fine. Still have plenty of money here. Anyways. Now we need to go to the abyss. Again. Well, that's a convenient start here. Just squeeze straight through the gap. Brilliant. Didn't have to run all the way around the outside, getting hit by everything. Grabbed a few extra sharks just in case we need to worry about that. That's okay. Through the Law Rift. Here we go. And now we're at the Law Altar. Could have brought some essence in here if we wanted to. Made some Law runes. Not true. Would need 54 rune crafting for that. Anyways. And now, we're on Entrana. See? How convenient. How nice. To this meeting or ceremony, or what have you. To the High Priest. Many greetings. Welcome to our fair island. It's Entrana. We're just going to give them their present. Large pouch on the altar. There you go. And now we get to see what they're doing. Walking on in. They got a rock. Amazing. Protect the relic. Oh, the guy with the bow sword. He spawned in underneath the other monk. Killed that guy. Grabbed the relic and teleported away. Someone just stole our relic. This is a disaster. Adventurer, you must find the fool who put that teleport beacon on the altar. Yeah, about that. What are you trying to say? I put it there. Well, at least you're honest about it. But where did you get it from? It was supposed to be a gift from a monk near the River Salve. Those orbs are volatile, use some very old magic. No worshipper of Saradoma would dare touch one. You must return to this monk and find out more, but be wary. Highly suspicious. Once again, we have been bamboozled by just doing whatever anyone tells us to do. Monks are dead. Their holy relics stolen. What a mess. What a mess. Once again. Time to go confront this so-called monk. What a mess. You would think eventually we would figure it out. You would be wrong. We were told there would be rewards. Nothing could stop us then. Oh my gosh. Just how quickly things get out of hand. What a disaster we constantly are. Pretty wild. Great stuff. Anyways. Back to the monk. No giant building in the way. Monk. Here we come. And dead monk. Okay. Poor guy appears to have been killed by powerful magic. Well, recently deceased follower of Saradomin. Killed by powerful magic. Yeah. That's probably fine. That's probably fine. Let's just not worry about that. That's not good. Another monk is dead. At this point, we shouldn't be surprised. Everywhere we go today, the monks are being killed. We should really not go back to Entrana. We are a risk to everyone involved, clearly. We kind of don't have any other avenues we can continue things with here. If the monks are dead, there's not much we can do about it. I'm just going to report on what we saw here. Keep everybody up to date in the current life cycle of all the monks. Deceased is really looking up these days. Travel with Monk of Entrana. On the boat. On Entrana. It's convenient to be able to come on here without worrying about dropping everything. And realistically, we really could not have gotten away with dropping the Dragon Mace anywhere. Going through the abyss, going through the altar, coming here, looking at the cutscene, and then getting back to anywhere. If there were tables we could still put things on, would have been possible, but that is why we never purchased all the other armor, since we knew this was happening. Instances where we need to go to Entrana, or other places where we can't have things. Very noteworthy. Fair Island. Have you found our relic yet? Not yet. I went back to where that monk was. All I found was a dead body. What? Yeah, looked like he'd been killed by magic. I'm not sure it was the same person either. This is not good. The relic was part of an ancient artifact, which was said to have some awesome power. You must report to Sir Tiffy in Falador. He must be informed. Alright. We can do that. Report to Sir Tiffy. That is well within our wheelhouse. With the whole Temple Knights and all that. Sir Tiffy. How's it going? It's not going well for us. I shall get into the White Knights. What? Now what can I do for you, young fellow? About devious minds. Thanks. Unfortunately, I've got some bad news. This wouldn't be that old relic being stolen from Entrana, would it? Yeah. How'd you know? Part of the business. What do you know about what went on? Well, there was this monk who needed help. We relay the whole story. So I was told to come to see you. Good, that confirms our own intel. And with the designs for that weapon, we can work on some tactics. You mean I can learn to use it? No. At least not yet, anyway. We need to know more about what we're dealing with. We still don't know who that monk was, and where he got that orb from. Is there anything I can do to help? Not yet, but we'll be in touch. Oh, and don't worry about that relic. We'll get it back somehow. Quest complete. And that's it. 1 quest point. 5,000 fletching XP, 5,000 runecrafting XP, and 6,500 smithing XP. So, 100 XP for every level you needed to get in order to do this quest. That's definitely something. No levels or anything, but that's okay. And now, that's pretty good. That was the last quest of 2005, as we saw in the whole list and everything. So, that's something. Which means, we just have a few more things to deal with here. On December 28th, 2005, 6 new Australian worlds over in Sydney. Probably don't use the Australian worlds if you're not in Australia or New Zealand. Probably going to have much worse connection. But if you're there, should be a solid choice. Much better than trying to connect to the US worlds or anything. So, good times over in Australia. Several times there have been issues with the Australia servers, but better than nothing. At least they're trying. It's okay. And that gets us to December 31st, 2005. It's over. But we need to prepare. 2006 is coming. Big plans, more big things, and we need to be ready. So let's go get some stuff, shall we? Back on Entrana. Since we can be free to move around here, we can head back down this way. It's a problem in there, everything's fine. It's a risk we'll have to take. Can't drain our prayer if we already drained our prayer by going through the abyss. The exit through the wilderness is irrelevant because we have teleports. So we're fine down here in the spooky dungeon. We just need to get an axe here, because the tool belt doesn't exist yet. Really did simplify the Lost City quest when you can just have an axe with you at all times. Tool belt. It's very powerful. Many iterations in the future. We'll get to that when we get to it. For right now, we just need to punch some zombies. Should be great. Bronze hatchet. Lovely. And then just run past some greater demons. Again, much more dangerous. Back when it was still RuneScape Classic and you would be stuck in combat with them. These days, not so much. Even just RuneScape 2 days. Just run past things does get you a lot accomplished. Chop down the Draymond tree and get 2 branches. And that will be exactly what we need. Preparing for the future. Then we take these 2 branches, go and grab a knife, conveniently located up here in the bank, or general store. Use a knife on a branch to make a Drammon staff. Lovely stuff. Reorganize the runes slightly here. Our Drammon staff. I guess we need to hold on to the axe for a little bit here. Not that it's a huge deal either way. Can always just go and get another axe in Lumbridge, so I'm not too worried about it. A Drammon staff and a Drammon branch. Very, very important. And only accessible when we have access to Entrana. Which is not all the time, that's for sure. Next up, we're going to start getting some equipment back. Get our gauntlets back. Reclaim our lost gauntlets. Come back with magic power. Like them back? Yes, please. Here you go. Give us both of them. A new set of gauntlets. Then we should only have the 1 set of steel gauntlets. Not sure if that's quite right. That cost me any money? I don't think it did. Cooking gauntlets. From Dominthius? That's not quite correct. Sorry, the smelting gauntlets, also not really a thing. Gauntlets. Buy new steel gauntlets. One of those mystical gauntlets you can part with. Really appreciate the skill effort. Sounds put into craft. Honest by having 1 pair of each type of gauntlets. I have my sons. Although there are more gauntlets that have been kind of failing, the others are not mine to part with. One of my sons, to see fit. They alone can decide what they do with theirs. Like, pay them a visit. Thank you. I think we just have to go to the actual sons. Let me just get the gauntlets here. Reclaim gauntlets. Yes. Just the cooking gauntlets. Doesn't quite work in the same way. If we go to, well, he's not even a Camelot anymore. Everything about the gauntlets system is slightly different. That's all right. Let me see here. See if we just need to purchase the change over here. You would get the regular steel gauntlets from Dominthius, and then go and get them changed into the correct gauntlets for a fee. See if we can get that to happen here. Also, he would be in Catherby. He was moved here for some reason. All the small changes over the years add up quite a bit. Change gauntlets. I've clearly crest my father. It says, awfully impressive work. It was really easy. Well, anything I can help you with? You changed my gauntlets. That's what I've been true with my potions. Do you have any gauntlets I can be you? And he can't switch these gauntlets. I guess we're fine. We're trying here. Cooking gauntlets. There you go. Not really any stats or anything on these, but helps with cooking, which will be nice, since sharks have a very high cooking requirement. So that's at least one thing we got correctly here. It's all a bit of a mess, honestly. Since we're right here, I suppose we can go to the Champions Guild. Get the next piece of equipment. Up here. Welcome to the Guild of Champions. Indeed. Trade with Scavo. And we're going to be getting rune plate legs. Reasonable price. Everything's fine. I can work with that. Most of the rest of the rune stuff in here doesn't exist yet. Or isn't the ones we want. Technically we could buy a rune chain body, but just cosmetically, I'd rather the plate. So in order to get a rune plate body, over to Oziach. Really an unnecessary run here. We could have just gone the chain. But I don't wanna. We can make choices here. Purely cosmetic choices. But you would really want to get the plate body. Even with the chain's slightly better original crush defense comparatively. I don't know if it was even actually better crush defense. It was just good crush defense for the price and everything. And the difference is in how many bars it took to smelt things, that was changed, and the mining smithing rework, and the shot changes, and yada yada yada. So much going on. We get to use the new, you can walk from Edgeville to Oziach's shop here. That's great. Well, that's a win. That's fantastic. Open the door and trade with Oziach. Get the rune plate body. Same price as the Champions Guild. Still cheaper than it would have been. We can do what we can here. Rune plate body. So now we're getting a little bit of armor back on. That's fantastic. A few more pieces of armor we need though. A little bit further of a run. And speaking of a run, we can make ours go a little bit better with the Boots of Lightness. Get a little bit less weight here. Also helps that the rune armor has less weight than it used to for some reason. I'm not going to complain too much about that. Technically we could go get metal boots from Slayer, but those don't have very good stats and we can't even get the higher level ones anyways. Also that's a rare drop from various monsters, so not really going to worry about that. Slightly less weight honestly might just be better overall than some very low level armor boots, so not going to worry about that at all. Kind of get one more better piece of armor though. The Berserker Helm. It's got strength bonus. And really should for 78,000 coins. My goodness. Helmet. Now we're looking pretty defended. Strength bonus on the helmet. And strength bonus also from an Amulet of Strength. Shockingly enough. There you go. Gold from Alcarid. Smelted here in Ardoin. A ruby from Shiloh Village. Cut with a chisel, also bought in Alcarid. Used an amulet mold from Alcarid to make the unstrung necklace in the furnace there. Got the ball of wool from the Adventuring Supply Store, right down there by the zoo. Cosmic Rune from Ali Morsane, back in Alcarid. Really going all over the place to put this together. Technically, we could also have made an Amulet of Power, but that's better for all combat styles and not just melee. And we're just doing melee here. Strength is better. Going all over the place, using all of our resources. That's kind of what happened in order to get into the Legends Guild. So here we are again in the Legends Guild, getting back our Legends cape. 1, because it looks really nice. And 2, because I think it has stats now. Either way, we're looking pretty solid here. We just need a weapon. The best weapon we can go get. Although it's going to be a bit of a trek through the Elven lands. That's what the anti-poison's for. Here we go. All the way to the Tyrus camp. It's gonna be a lot more convenient getting over here once charter ships exist. That's alright. Talk to the quartermaster. Good day, sir. The quartermaster for King Tarsus' camp. We have a little we could trade here. We have a new stock of dragon halberds. Would you like to have a look at what we have now? Yes, please. The dragon halberd. For 325,000 coins. It's a lot. Honestly. It's a lot. Level 60. Two-handed. And with reach, because it's a halberd. So technically we can go over things sometimes. Not the most valuable in general, but it's definitely something. Purchase the dragon halberd. Just one. Just one would be great. Does drop us under 6 million coins. That's alright. Because this is the best we're going to get here. Technically, we could go get a Barrow's weapon. Those are fairly rare. It would take time to get. We'll be okay with the dragon halberd. Looking quite something here. Much, much better than the dragon mace. Because again, two-handed, evolution of combat, all that. Would not typically have been the correct choice of a weapon. Because of speed and everything, but again, evolution of combat. Working with what we got here. And what we got is a big ol' halberd. Should be able to hit pretty substantially here. And we're going to need this for fighting stuff. These guys have halberds too. Ours is better. We're ready to take on 2006. Next time. Goodbye.